Second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Alright? First and foremost, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash, double honors and apostles of great millstone, and shalom to all the brothers on the highways and byways doing the works sincerely and faithfully, continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are all found in that number. Alright? So Esau is the end of the world, meaning what? His power structure, the dominion of the earth that was given to him. Okay, his way of life, his whole method of just, wickedness is coming to an end. All right, but he's not gonna go without a fight. He's not gonna go without a fight, and the fight is gonna be had, by the hand of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You got people in groups talking about, banding together and taking Esau route and all. Listen, if somebody were to take Esau route, then what good would the word of the Lord be concerning the great prophetic judgment of Esau Edom? All right, and the Lord made this man this strong so the Lord can show his power by taking him down. All right, so Esau is the end of the world. So let's dig a little deeper. This is 1 Peter 4 and 7. It says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. All right, end of what things? Okay, the end of Esau's power structure, the end of his way of life. This is at hand, and this is why these devils are feverishly working as hard as they're working to try to fulfill their enterprise, to try to fulfill their wickedness. All right, but the Lord said, but ye therefore be ye therefore sober. Sober meaning what? Is that talking about physically being sober from abstaining from alcohol? No. Being sober meaning staying away from different doctrines, staying away from different philosophies, holding fast into the things that you were taught. And watch unto prayer, knowing what time you're in. It's written in the book of 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, measuring the time diligently. That's watching. And as it says, as it is written in Thessalonians, pray without ceasing. Because the Lord is going to give Esau Edom the power to as the scriptures say, to be a roaring lion, to come down having great wrath. Okay? Even though we are servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we still got to pray that the Lord keeps us in good graces, man. You'd be a fool to think just because you're a servant of the Lord that no ill will come unto you. And that's what happens when a man gets prideful. Man starts to get boastful. Oh yeah, I'm a man of the Lord. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. You still got to be a humble servant, an unprofitable servant. And this is why a lot of these guys out here are gonna be put to death, man. Because they're puffing themselves up, even puffing themselves up to the point where they're trying to, bring shame upon the men that they originally learned from. That in itself is offensive. Okay? But once again, the end of all things are at hand. Esau Edom, in his way of life, in his power structure, in his dominion and reign over the earth, is coming to an end. Okay? People, the so-called, Esau Edom, they don't want to believe it. They're gonna scratch tooth and nail to try to hold on to a little bit of power that they have, but they see it slowly slipping through the cracks. And this is why these devils, whenever you see any type of video being made by Esau, they're talking about, they got their guns ready and they're gonna kill any black or Puerto Rican or whoever, because they know that their time is up, man. Matthew 24:14. It says, "In this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations." All right? We have exposed, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we have exposed Esau to the point where now all the nations are now starting to realize and understand, wait a minute, the Edomites are still here. Because there's an identity that matches their description to a T. How they move, the way they think, the things they do. Okay? The spirit that they come in. So this gospel has been preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. All nations. You even so much so you even got regular so-called white people saying, we may be the descendants of Esau, Edom. We may be those descendants. You are those descendants. Okay? And it says, and then shall the end come. The end of what? Esau's rulership. The end of this power structure. It's gone out throughout the four corners of the earth, man. It's already out there. We on the home stretch. Granted, the home stretch is going to be, trials and tribulations all the way through. But we on the home stretch, man. And the end of this kingdom and the end of this life as we know it is just about here, man. We're not going to have to worry about, waking up in the kingdom to go to work. We're not going to worry about if we're going to have to just, figure out how we're going to make ends meet. Because under this current rulership, these are the things we think about and worry about. But the end is coming, man. The end is here. The gospel's out there. And where are all you other so-called Bible thumpers and scholars, man? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found concerning these prophecies. This is the beauty about servants of the Lord. The servants of the Lord are always occupied in prophecy. A so-called Bible thumper and scoffer is not occupied in prophecy. They want to know, if you believe in Jesus. They want to know if, the men of One West, how can they come to the conclusion that they're the Israelites? They want to know, why do we believe the so-called white man's the devil? They ain't occupied in prophecy. The only thing they're set up to do is to bring confusion and to draw away those who are less desirable that the Lord don't want. That's why they're set up. Matthew 10:22. And it says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And enduring is not just being physically strong. Enduring is also maintaining sound mind, man. Maintaining the ability to navigate through this thing without being swept away by some foolish doctrine or some foolish teachers. Okay? You also have to be strong in the mind and in the spirit to know how to withstand bullshit when you see it and hear it, man. So enduring just doesn't mean to be strong physically. Spiritually, you got to endure. Also being physically endure, but at the same time, spiritually. And it says, but he that endureth until the end shall be saved. Now, if you come into this thing and you've been in it for a little while, and all of a sudden, you catch wind of some nonsense, such as, John the Baptist wasn't in the truth, you're not enduring, man. You're not enduring. You've been swept away by, some for lack of a better word, some type of doctrine that tickled your ears and appeased your spirit. That makes sense. All right. So we're looking to get the hell out of here. But those who are looking to get the hell out of here have to be of sound mind, have to believe in the Spirit and on the Spirit, okay? Have to have that faith without wavering, being grounded, knowing the Lord's name, knowing his Son's name, okay? Believing that whom we call the so-called Negroes, West Indian, Puerto Ricans, and Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. I mean, you got men out there who profess that, our Latin brothers of the nation of Israel, that everybody's going to be, black as, Samuel L. Jackson. So there's a lot to endure, man. There's a lot to endure, especially coming down to the wire, man. All right, from there. Now, going back to, for Esau is the end of the world. Okay, so why is Esau the end of the world? Why? Why did the Lord set this nation, or speak about this nation of people being the end of the world? There's roughly 18 nations on the planet Earth. But the Lord spoke of Esau being the end. Esau being the end. Why is that? Isaiah 14 in 12, it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" Okay? Now we know this Lucifer isn't some spiritual devil or demon in the heavens wrestling with the Most High. Okay? This particular Lucifer we're talking about right here is Esau Edom. All right? Who they refer to themselves as the Illuminati. Lucifer being the light bearer. Okay? This is what? A part of Esau's world coming to an end. As it is written, how art thou fallen from heaven? How are they getting knocked out of their place? How are they being brought down to the ground? It says, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? And this is exactly what he's done, Esau Edom. He went around with his philosophies, weakening all the nations. Now all the nations believe on the same thing that Esau has put out there. But these nations are going to be mad pursuant to the book of Obadiah, the 7th chapter. On down. Okay? All these nations have taken on a branch of, so to say, of Esau Edom, man. All these other nations. Okay? But how thou cut down? We've made Esau bare by prophesying, exposing this man, making it known who he is and that he is still on the planet, contrary to what people want to believe, especially Edomites. Oh, Esau's done away with. They're nowhere to be found. No, you're not done away with. You're alive and kicking to this very day. And this is how you're being brought down to the ground. Spiritually, we're whooping that ass. But the Lord eventually, ultimately, I should say, is going to destroy you by them thermonuclear missiles. And any other Edomite that's left on the planet, we're going to bind with chains and shackles. It just adds up, man. It adds up. There's no other nation that is working as feverishly as Esau Edom, in these last days. Trying to get the Pop C going, the population control. All right? Trying to heap to himself all people and all nations by means of sticking that RFID chip in them. All right? There's no other people that fits the description, man. Okay? This is Job 18:5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked. All right? Lucifer. Who's that Lucifer? Who's that light? Who's the wicked? Esau Edom. The light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Okay? So his light is slowly being dimmed out. Now, if you take a candle, right, and you got a candle on a glass, and you put the lid on it, and you cut that oxygen off, you're going to see that flame from its brightest point slowly dim out until it just smothers itself because of lack of oxygen. All right? Yahweh Shai has Esau in a chokehold right now. And he's got him in, a rear naked choke. And he's just slowly applying that pressure. Okay? And if we ever see somebody get choked out, at first when the chokehold is applied, they're moving, they're shaking. But as that chokehold starts to get tighter and tighter, their movements become slower and slower until all of a sudden they're out. This is what's going on with Esau Edom right now. They're on their way out. As it is written, the spark of his fire shall not shine. The spark of his fire shall not shine. All right? So this is what's happening right now. The end of the world, the end of Esau's rulership, the end of a nation of people ruling in wickedness is all coming to an end. And this is what we've been waiting for. We've been preaching this gospel out the four corners of the earth, identifying who our enemy is. Isn't it not written? Never trust thine enemy. Well, we here in the last days, okay, it's crystal clear that the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latin people, they truly got an enemy, okay? And that enemy is Esau Edom. So we can attest that there's no other nation that has done as much harm to the nation of Israel but the nation of Edom. They've done nothing but horrendous things to the children of Israel. And I don't have it, but Obadiah 1:10. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And you wonder why this man got to be taken out of the way. But not only has he committed violence on the children of Israel, his brother, but he's committed violence on the whole world, man. The scriptures say when this man goes down, the whole world's going to rejoice and break through, man, and rejoice. But until that day, he's mounting up a rap sheet. He's mounting up a rap sheet that only the Lord can judge, if you will, in the sense with the final sentence, if you will. The Lord's going to bring that final sentence upon Esau Edom, man. And with that, we hold fast, maintain, stay faithful, stay true, and be those unprofitable servants whom the Lord has given his spirit unto, to fulfill his will on this end. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, brothers are edified. Keep pushing. Keep blowing the horns. Keep blowing the trumpets. Keep exposing Esau, Edom. Keep letting the world know that they're still on this planet and they're the ones that the scene of great prophetic judgment is going to fall upon, man. And that's why the Lord has set him up to never be taken out until the Lord removes him out of the way. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.